What I found about history specifically, and this is again very much born of my own quest. I got to the age of 30 and I like मेरे को कुछ नहीं पता क्योंकि स्कूल में कुछ नहीं सिखाया लोगों ने तो अभी जानना है. So first I would say start with hardcore history. Two is I'd 100% recommend going subject by subject. As opposed to just going like, oh, मेरे को history सीखना, because history is huge, right? Like for example, I started that way. I started as a generalist and went, I want to know everything. And I got Romila Thapar's History of India, which is fantastic and comprehensive, but it is very much an academic textbook. So you just get long timelines of events, and beyond a point, your brain doesn't absorb. Because by the time you've gotten to the 1900s, the Kalingas and all, you've forgotten about. Like, this thing. So I would say if you're going subject by subject, like for me, I decided at one point that I didn't know anything about World War II. So Anthony Beaver's World War II. It's literally, the book is called World War II by Anthony Beaver. It's everything you need to know about World War II. There's a great Laurence Olivier narrated documentary called The World at War, which was done by the UK in the 70s. That's like 26 episodes. I would 100% recommend it for, say, if you want to learn about World War II. And then other than that, what I usually do is for historical things, I just go subject by subject. And then I just start Googling and asking what are the best books, etc. And usually out of 7 or 8 lists and subreddits and all of that, you'll see 2-3 books that float to the top as common across those lists. And then I usually just start with those and then move on from there. Like subject by subject. Like in the middle, I'd gotten very fascinated with just like what's the history of banks and banking. So Niall Ferguson has this great documentary / book called The Ascent of Money, which literally takes you from the first use of money to this sort of weird chimera late stage capitalism that we live in right now. So instead of just overall history books, my recommendation would definitely be like just go subject by subject. Like for example, I really enjoyed William Dalrymple's Return of a King, which was about the British going from India into Afghanistan and everything that happened there. And for me, I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know anything about this. But what a gripping read. Like, what a gripping read.
And,
do you have any recommendations for history books? I would, because I'm always looking for fresh history books.
The only way I got to find history interesting was Dead Famous and Horrible Histories. And Horrible Histories was also a show. So if you're discovering Greeks, they will actually present it to you in a very funny way. They will write letters they could have written at that time, but in English.
Oh, nice.
And then
That's
there was
cool.
another series they did like Dead Famous. So Dead Famous was about this one individual who's probably famous, say Shakespeare. So how he could have been in today's age, but they'll also tell you about him. And I couldn't find the books anywhere except for Paharganj. And I got them for 20 rupees a book.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.